Okay, hello. Um, you may have heard the news today, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Big news, okay? And surprise, surprise. By the way, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Um, if indeed, it's hard to tell, isn't it? What's real and what's not real anymore. Um, but again, if Charlie Kirk isn't on Bowie Island, rest in peace. Did used to like watching a bit of Charlie Kirk, even though he's a system cog, wheel in the machine. Kind of an interesting guy to watch occasionally. Anyway, rest in peace. But there were some interesting synchronicities um, with Charlie Kirk, and well, it's just one of these things that's loaded. Of course, we were looking at running up to the start of September, we were looking at the 1st of September for something big to happen. And we really didn't get anything. We got Mayor Rudy Giuliani getting awarded a medal, and that was about it on the 1st of September. Anyway, what is super interesting about this day today, the 10th of September, is we've got the same numerology showing up. We've got the 9-1 numerology showing up, and we had, what I want to say, this is also Guy Ritchie's birthday. So all the stuff we've been looking at with Madonna, and then and all the stuff we've been looking at with the White Wedding, this idea of the two sides of reality sort of resetting, and having this connection back, um, to a fresh start, a white wedding, so to speak, a fresh start to the system, which is where those two sides are basically die and then resurrect and then come together again. Okay. Oh, anyway, what's interesting about that is, of course, this is Guy Ritchie's birthday today, and um, the 10th of September, the day that Charlie Kirk dies, and also the connection to the White Wedding, which we'll go into later, um, connecting back with Madonna. Obviously, Guy Ritchie was married to Madonna. And so we're going to go through a whole bunch of number jumps. I'm not going to do it all in this video. What I'm going to do is break these videos down into just little bite-sized pieces, because it's just crazy trying to do a million number jumps and we're all over the place. So I'm going to try and break them down, but there'll be a little bit of overlap with some of this stuff. And I may not, I'm not going to exactly point out like, oh, we had this in this video and this and this and this in this video and so forth and so on. I'm just going to kind of go through the bits, and you kind of have to, if you watch the whole lot, in kind of order, then you'll be able to see, okay, well, we saw that in that video, and that's why Dan's brought that up. It's tying back to that. I'll try and reference back, but again, if I do that, I'll just end up, might as well just do one great big video. Anyway, so rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. But Kirk is done, so I thought I would start with this because of the Second World War. It just rang. I just was one of the first things that I thought I'd go and look at, and I also thought I'd go and look at Captain Kirk as well. And I caught the end of Decoding with Cody. He had Derek and AJ on, and they were mentioning something about James T. Kirk and the gematria matching up. We'll look at that later. I'm not going to do any gematria, but I'm just going to do number jumps basically. And I also caught a little bit of Zach's video, but I only watched just the start 20-30 minutes of that, and I was just you didn't have time to watch the whole thing. So apologies if I'm regurgitating what other people have already done. I'm not really quite sure what anybody's actually done. Anyway, I think they were talking about the film Dunkirk. Anyway, I just wanted to go back to the war, because the reason why I want to go back to the war is because of this 9-1 numerology. This is what we were looking at with the Second World War, and some of the jumps with excuse me, some of the jumps with what am I trying to say? We were looking at the Second World War and some of the jumps with Madonna, and well, let me show you. Right, what have I got here? This is so what we've got going on is this evacuation of Dunkirk, right? A big thing that happened in the Second World War, and again, you know, the references to Exodus right now, yeah, coming out of the system. This is a super duper interesting sort of idea that's being sort of synchronized with here. Operation Dynamo, kind of interesting as well, with the generation of power, especially with connection back with the Hoover Dam. Okay, but anyway, so this Exodus here, right? The last day of the Exodus is 4th of June 1940, so I whacked that in. Obviously, we're looking at that because of the idea of Kirk on the end of that, Dunkirk, Charlie Kirk, and this is what we end up with, right? So from that date, Dunkirk, through to this shooting, it's pi, okay? 31144, okay? Just amalgamate the 11 and the 44, yeah? So you get 314. Super duper. That for me was just absolutely mental. Why is that mental, right? So this is 9-1 numerology. So let's go over to this little thing here. This is what we were looking at to do with Madonna. Okay, why is this to do with Madonna, and why is this to do with, you know, pi, and what, you know, what's going on here, Dan? This is the start of World War II, 9-1, 1939 through to, we've just had this 1st of September date, yeah? This is synchronizing with Back to the Future 3, this date here, this 9-1 date, the Wild West. And it happens to be an 86-year number jump, essentially. You can include the end date. It's 86 years, 1 day, which is Madonna's birthday numbers, 816, okay? What is interesting about this is that number jump happens to be pi, yeah? 31413, yeah? And a way of writing pi is just write it pi, okay? Pi is 314, okay? So we have this palindropic pi, which is pi mirrored, and we were talking about this, you know, if you mirror pi, okay, yeah, I've just written, so here's pi here, and then just look underneath, I just did a squirrely p, I, if you mirror that, it's the number 19, okay, so you see what we've got going on here. We've got 219 dates, essentially, you know, 19 numerology dates that happen to be, you know, pi separated with this palindropic, yeah, which is a mirrored number with the numbers of actual pi, 314. So this was a big date for me. You know, this is you know, very interesting for something to happen. Anyway, nothing happened. So instead, we have, of course, Charlie Kirk being shot on 910. Okay, 9-1 numerology again, and we have this reference back again to pi here, and then we also have this reference back to the war, to Dunkirk, okay, the evacuation, the Exodus, yeah, super duper interesting. Anyway, what I'm going to do, let us move on from here. I guess I don't really want to put it in this video because, well, maybe I should just put it in this video, I don't know. We could just leave that for the Second World War stuff for right now. yeah, let's just leave that right now, okay? And then we'll come back on to. I got a whole bunch of more stuff. So let's leave that one here. That'll be part one. We'll call it Dunkirk. And then the next one, I want to look at his organization, Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point. Okay, so we'll look at that next. So this is Dunkirk and Pi, and why that was, why this has been so significant, really. All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing these in quick succession. Okay, these videos. Okay, all right. Catch you on the next one here soon. All right, bye.